everybody. I am so glad you're here. My name is Sherry, and welcome to the Junk Journal Haven. Today, I am working on this Valentine kit. This is free in my Ko-Fi shop, and I've already prepped everything. I've cut out the hearts and the little ephemera for it. The page in the background is printed on cardstock. Actually, I printed the entire thing on cardstock. I already cut out the tags, and I made the tags into a little booklet instead of separating them. So I'm just showing you now that I took the tag and I glued it onto the back of this other page for the inside of the tag. So that page is going to be the inside of the tag decor. So I'm just using a glue stick and gluing it all over so it has an even adhesiveness all over. And then I'm going to take my other glue and go around the edges. This is the art glitter glue. I'm sorry, I was trying to think of the name of it. So it's art glitter glue. I use it a lot because it has a really good, it just sticks really well and without coming apart. So I usually use it at least for the edges, if not the entire thing. But the glue stick gives it a more even finish and doesn't bubble as much because it's not as wet. So that's why I'm only using it on the edges here. Then I just turn it over and make sure I know where I want it, and then push it down very evenly. And then once I have that all down well, then I will get my scissors and just cut around the edges there. Okay, so now that it's all cut out, I'm just kind of trying to fold it and get the other fold lines back to where they were on the inside. You can always do your brayer with this and push it down if you'd like, or whatever tools you have to help you flatten it out. But I just used my fingers because it's not that thick until I got it to where I wanted it. Okay, I have my Distress Oxide now. This is all ready to go. I have all my pieces that were cut out ahead of time. And I'm just going to go ahead and ink up the edges. I believe this is Vintage Photo is what I'm using from Tim Holtz. And I'm going to set the glue aside. And then I'm just going to go around the edges to give them more of a, cleaner look and kind of a vintage look around the edges of those hearts. And I'm just going to ink up everything here. So I'm going to speed up the video and you can just see what I'm doing. Okay, so that's all done with the inking. Now I'm going to take these hearts and I'm going to go ahead and make little tuck spots with them. I'm just going to do that by applying some glue around the bottom edges only of the hearts. This was my art glitter glue. And then that'll be a perfect little tuck spot for each of the folds, for each of the tags inside. And I think it looks really cute. So do any of you have plans for Valentine's Day? What are you going to do? Are you going to make one of these? I was thinking I could maybe give this to my granddaughter or my daughter because it is very girly. So I don't know about giving it to my husband. But okay, so I'm just putting the second one down and I think it looks really cute like that. And then you can use it as a little tuck spot. So I'm going to tuck in the rest of those little ephemera pieces for later use. The person who gets it can use them however they want. Okay, so now we are going to do the inside of the tag, and I'm just selecting some papers that can be used. And this kit is also on my Ko-Fi. I think it's $2. It's not expensive, but or you can use any kind of paper that you have. You can use coffee dyed paper. You can use scrap paper, whatever you have to do this same process. I'm just choosing to use these, and I'm just choosing which ones I want to use right now. And then I'm going to measure my tag with the papers to make sure that I do the right size, kind of go over where I want them, like what part of the paper I want to be showing. And then I'm going to use my ruler to go ahead and just rip the pages to the size that I want, like so. So I'm just measuring where do I want this and going to go ahead and mark a little mark so I know kind of where I'm going to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and tear that with my ruler. And you could cut this with your scissors too if you don't want to tear it. You don't have to tear it. Then I'm just putting it back up there and measuring some more where I want. I do measure it, I do tear it just a little bit shorter than the size of my booklet tags because I don't want them sticking out too much when you fold them. So I go in a little bit. So I go in a little bit from where the beginning of the tag is, from each end to end, and just go a little bit within that size, and I mark it to where I want it. And once I get this all measured out, then I will use this one piece of paper for a size template for the rest of the papers that I'm going to put inside of the little booklet. So you should only have to measure once. And then once you have that one piece, you just use it to measure all the rest of the papers that you're going to cut down to size. That's it. So that will be one of my papers. And I will fold it like that, and it will go inside. Even with measuring it, it's still a little, looks like it will still be a little bit big. I mean, as far as when you fold it, it will kind of show just a tiny bit out the edges, which I'm okay with, as long as it's not sticking out a lot. So Now I'm going to go ahead and just prepare all the rest of the papers. Okay, so now I'm putting my tag over the papers that I've chosen, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the little edges there that are sticking out. So I'm just going to measure with my ruler and decide exactly where I want to rip them. And I'm going to go ahead and take those off. I'll do this to both sides. And then once I'm done with that, I will do the other side. And then the middle, I'm just going to draw a line and cut the middle part where the V is. I will cut that down with scissors. So I'm going to speed this up and you will see the rest of it. Okay. Now I have them all folded and cut. I'm ready to go into the little booklet. I'm going to add some of these little doilies. Just trying to figure out if I like the way it looks right there. I'm kind of thinking that it doesn't look good with the color choice behind it. But I do want to use it because it's a heart shape and I just think it's cute. So I'm going to go ahead and put this doily in as well. Little white one. I'm just trying to figure out the composition of this, and sometimes it takes me a minute. I don't like to rush my creativity because then I'm not happy with the end result. So that's how it looks so far. I'm not sure about having it stick out on the edges there. And you'll see in a minute that I do tear that off. Or cut it off. And you can still tell it's a heart shape, so it still looks fine. I'm still unsure about the color choice behind it, though. So I believe I switched the pages around a little to one that I think is more, I don't know, it just looks better with that heart. So there we go. Okay, so now we're taking it and we're going to sew these pages in. I'm just using some clips to keep everything in place so it doesn't move around when I am putting the holes in. And this is the string that I'm using. You can use whatever you have available. I think this is so little that it's not going to matter a whole lot what type of string you use. But I just measure out 3 times the length of the tag, and I have these needles that have the bigger openings on the bottom. They're kind of large needles. I bought these on Amazon a long time ago, so I do not have a link for you, but I'm sure you can find them on Amazon. So I'm just threading my needle, getting that ready, and then I'm going to take my awl and go ahead and poke 1 hole on each end. Just poke it all the way through everything. And then the second hole. And I'll go ahead and just thread that string through. And then go back in the other hole to the other side. And when I bring it all the way through, I'm going to take the needle off and I'm going to tie it. I'm going to do a double knot on here, making sure the strings are even. And just try to make sure it's tight enough. I know my first tie, I didn't do it tight enough and I had to redo it. That's what I'm showing you. It's not quite tight enough, and even came untied very easily, so I didn't have the whole thing tied good enough. So I'm just retying it again. And if you tie the knot one direction and then tie it the opposite direction, it does a tighter knot for some reason, a more secure knot. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just making sure that's tight. I'm taking the clips off and I'm leaving those strings long because you'll see in a little bit that I'm going to attach some charms to those strings. And I'm going to put something on that spine just to cover up those holes. You don't have to, I just feel like I want to. So I have this washi tape that matches the colors, and I'm going to use that, and I'm going to glue it down because washi tape, as you know, does not hold very well on its own. It's made to come off easily. So I'm just measuring what I need, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue around the edges where I'm going to be putting it. With my art glitter glue. Also, the art glitter glue is available on Amazon as well if you guys want some for yourself. That's where I bought mine. I did buy mine. There's several different sellers on Amazon, and the last one that I bought, I had to throw away because when I went to use it, it was all dried out. And this one is older than that one, so I think the seller gave me an old package. So maybe read the reviews of who you're buying it from before you buy it, because I didn't think that was very good. And I know it's not because I kept it too long, because my older glue still worked and that one didn't. So, alright, so I'm just straightening out that doily because it got a little crease there, but showing you that it's all together now. I didn't put that washi tape on real straight. The bottom is thinner than the top, so I will fix that later just by adding a little bit more washi tape to the bottom so that it looks more even. But first I have to let it dry really well. Or you should let it dry just so that it's attached well. Oh, see, I'm already putting it on. And I did not glue it down right away. I had to go back later, and I didn't do it on film, and go ahead and add some glue because it did come off because I didn't add glue there. But you see what I did? I just added another piece to the bottom there. And it blends pretty well because of the type of washi tape that is. I chose to do that rather than pull it off because it was already attached pretty well at that time and I didn't want to rip the tag, the page of the cover of the tag. All right. So that's it for putting the pages in. Now we are going to use these little hearts that I found. I believe I found those at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I can't remember. And then I have a Tim Holtz sweetheart sign and some hearts also that are from Tim Holtz that I'm going to use, some little charms, little heart charms that I'm going to use on those dangles. And I'm going to use this, I'm trying to see what it's called, Distress. What is the name of that? Distress Medium. Anyways, it holds really well. So at first you have to kind of hold things in place, but once it's on there, it is on there. So I like this one for a little bit heavier things, so I'm using it on the wooden hearts. And I'm just going to put those wooden hearts where those holes are to cover those holes up since I'm not using them as tags. Rather than putting a hole there and putting ribbon in it, I'm putting the hearts there. You can put any kind of decorative thing there that you want, a sticker, or you can put a hole in it and put a ribbon there if you want, maybe a little bow. Whatever you have to make that look finished there. And then I'm using this adhesive to put on the sweetheart sign, and it will hold really well once it dries. Again, you don't have to put any kind of sentiment on the front, but you can if you like. You can either do what I'm doing, or if you don't have something like that available, you can use maybe a sticker you have, or a die cut you might have for a sentiment. Just be creative and use what you've got. If you don't have any charms for the dangles, you can always just tie a bow in the middle, or you can cut those dangles completely off and not worry about it. Not worry about having dangles. So now I'm just attaching the heart to the back of the little booklet. Like so. And that's it. I just have to let it dry. I will be back. Okay, I am back, and I'm going to attach these little charms to the dangles here, and I'm just going to do that by tying just putting the dangle through the top of the heart and then tying a knot. It's real simple. The string seems to not want to stay tied very well, so I am going to put some of that Distress Collage Medium on the knot just to secure it and make sure it doesn't come apart. And that is all you have to do to attach these little dangles. And it just adds a little something to the end. It's fun, you know, to have something hanging there and that's cute to look at. So it's not something that's required or needed, but it definitely adds a little charm to it. So okay, so now we're done with that. We've got the dangles on there, the little charms on the dangles. And we've got the hearts attached at the top. And now we need to do a little closure for the book. So I'm going to use my hole punch here and just punch a little hole where I want the closure to be. I'm just kind of looking to make sure I have it in the right spot. And just going to punch a hole, real simple. And then I will do that to the other side as well. Make sure they're lined up in the same spot. And punch another hole. And then I'm going to make some hole reinforcers with this punch. I'm just going to use some of that paper that I already have so that it's matching. It's cardstock, so I'm just punching out enough holes, which would be 4, so 1 for each side of the hole on each cover. And then I'm going to just glue those on, as you will see. Okay, so now I have those hole enforcers all glued on. I'm just cutting the ends of these strings off now that they're dry so that they don't have extra strings hanging at the end of those hearts. And I am going to now put some ribbon inside of those holes for the closure. And I have some pink ribbon. I believe I bought this at the dollar store. I didn't buy it this year, so I'm not sure if they have it this year, but it's really cute. It has little pink hearts around the edges. And I'm going to use this ribbon for the closure of this. So I'm going to just cut it to the size that I think I want it for each side, and then I'm going to just feed it through those holes and then secure it by pulling the ribbon through. So you can also just put one side if you want, instead of doing it the way I'm doing it, like you would if you were putting ribbon through a tag at the top of a tag. You can also just put one end of the ribbon on and then tie a knot on the other side. But I chose to do it this way this time because I like the double ribbon look on each side. So that's what I'm doing. This ribbon was a little bit, I had to fuss with it a little bit to get it to pull tight because of those hearts that are on the edge. It didn't want to like pull through. So I did have to kind of work with it a little bit to get it to tighten enough that I felt like it was secure. but I got it. Just have to be careful that you don't rip your the edge of your tag when you're doing this, if you have to kind of work with the ribbon. Don't pull it so hard that you rip right through. Hopefully that won't happen, but you never know. I've done it before, so just be careful. And so we got that one done, and then we're going to do the other side. Same process, just measure how much you want, cut it, and put it through the hole. Okay, so I have them both in now, and now you just tie it for the closure. You tie those all together, and I think it looks really cute. I don't do it in a bow, but you could do it in a bow, but because of those hearts on the edges, I just think it looks cute. Just kind of tied in a really loose double knot. You want to not tie it tight because you want to be able to get that knot undone when you need to. But very loose double knot, and that's it. So I'm just showing you, I'm just opening it up so I can show you the inside once more. So we have the little side tucks here with the little ephemera hearts. And then we've got the pages. I am going to go through and maybe put some kind of sentiment on each page later on for whoever I give this to. Or you can leave your pages blank and let them use it as a little notebook. But I'm going to do it more as a card with lots of messages in it. So, and then they can add to it if they want to, or they can just have it as a keepsake. Whatever they want to do with it. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you enjoy your little kits, and I would love to see in the Facebook group what you make. The link for the kit will be down below. Actually, the link for my Facebook group, will be down below, and the link for the kit will be in the Facebook group. So if you want this kit and don't already have it, please head over to my Facebook group. It's Glitz Glamour Glam by Junk Journal Haven. And the link will be below in the comments so that you can join. Just ask to join, and I will accept your membership. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful Valentine's Day. I'll see you later. Bye.